what time it is. It's game time. It's game time.
It's game time. It's game time.
It's game time!
They are ready. Celts and Bucks about to come your way from the Bradley Center here in Milwaukee. Let's check out the Southwest Airlines starting lineups tonight for the Celtics. Again, no Ray Allen. If you tuned in late, he is not going to be in uniform here tonight. They're not going to bring him back until he is indeed 100%. So it will be Rondo and Tony Allen in the backcourt. Perkins, Pierce, and Garnett along the front line for head coach Doc Rivers. As again, he's won the game below the 500 mark with that loss to Utah last night. He'd like to be right at 500 before we head into this tough stretch next week, beginning Monday night in San Antonio. On the other side, for the Milwaukee Bucks, the Bucks have played some teams very, very tough here. Don't let their record really fool you. They play very well at home, and they got people back in the lineup tonight, namely Mason and Williams, both of whom have been out for a while. Gadzuric in the middle. No Bogut tonight. The Celtics get to miss the big Australian who's been playing very well, and another UConn guy, Charlie Villanueva, along the front line, and Michael Redd in the backcourt. Larry Krystowiak in his second season as an NBA coach, popular guy here in Milwaukee. Here's another popular guy wherever we go. Our DCU sideline guy, Greg Dickerson.
Mike, I'm huge here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know why. Ray Allen's very big here in Milwaukee. We'll explain that later on during the game. He spent about a half hour on the trainer's table with his left ankle wrapped in ice and getting treatment on it. After he got off the trainer's table, he said, it's really not that big of a deal. Yesterday, as he was trying to walk it off a little bit, he said he was limping somewhat. Today, he said he felt better. But again, as you mentioned, Doc Rivers has said repeatedly last night, again tonight, he's not going to put Ray Allen back in until he's 100%, no matter how important these games are on this road trip.
Reason you're so popular is because you kept asking people for a Schlitz last night. Let's take a look at tonight's honeydew list. What do you got on the list tonight, Darren?
Well, Mike, it's very important for the Celtics to get off to a good start tonight, starting a nice trip here, finishing up in New Orleans, and then keep the Bucks on their heels. You want to keep that offensive intensity, but also that aggressiveness.
That's our honeydew list, brought to you by Honeydew Donuts. Come try one of our delicious muffins with a medium coffee for just $1.99 at participating stores through the 16th of March. You haven't got much time. Honeydew, enjoy the local flavor. All right, again, the Bucks over the last couple of weeks are starting to score a lot of points, averaging about 105 a game. So Celtics got to be careful. They will want to run it up and down the floor here tonight. Boston wants to get back to defending like they were before the Utah game last night. Tap is controlled by Milwaukee. Williams has got it, and we're underway. Mo Williams' first game back from an injury. Same thing with Desmond Mason. Gadzuric has it rejected inside by KG. I don't think there's going to be any trouble tonight, Donnie, with these guys being focused. They were not happy with the way they played last night.
No, and if KG says, you know what, we're going to be ready to play, you can guarantee the team's going to be ready to play.
Villanueva, tough rebound in traffic. Redd right off the catch. There is no shot that is too deep for that guy.
Yeah, and you know what? He gets it out very quickly. And again, because he's left-handed, it's a little unorthodox for most defenders. But the fact that he is left-handed should be easier for the right-handed players to defend that, because you don't come across your body to contest that shot.
Tony Allen uses the Garnett screen back outside to Rondo, down to 7 on the shot clock. Garnett. Villanueva again battling for the rebound. Loose ball comes all the way out to Pierce, though, and the Celtics get a fresh clock out of it. Perkins has Villanueva on him. Gadzuric is on Garnett right now. Perk to Garnett for 2. Nicely done.
Great heads-up play, Mike, and really a good matchup for Kendrick Perkins, because he is stronger than Charlie Villanueva. You can see already, as a defender on a big guy, you can't flop this early in the game. You have to stay in and let the officials at least see you banging with the guy. But great play by Kendrick Perkins.
That's a Marshall rule right there. You can't flop early.
You can't flop early.
Rebound to Pierce. Ball, nice little crossover move, gets into the paint, tries to find Perkins, but it goes off Villanueva out of bounds. Let's take a look at our Subaru key matchup tonight. It is indeed the power forwards, and Charlie Villanueva over the last part of this year as a starter has really been playing very well. 15 points, 8 rebounds a game, and shooting around 44%. Garnett, of course, having an MVP type of year. Pierce right to the basket for 2.
And as soon as you talk about a guy, Charlie Villanueva, that is a very good offensive player, there's 2 ends of the floor you have to focus on, and you could see already twice Charlie struggling at the defensive end. One with Kendrick Perkins going right through his chest and Paul Pierce going by him the next time.
Villanueva takes it to the basket. Perks cut him off at the pass. Bucks were looking for a foul call. They didn't get there. KG on Gadzarich, and Gadzarich is going to be called with the trip.
Box foul number 50, and Gadzarich is first personal, first team foul.
That is the first team foul, and obviously first on Dan.
And just as I talk about Kendrick Perkins in that matchup with Charlie Villanueva, this is an even better matchup for the Celtics with Gadzarich. I mean, he's long, but just not as quick as KG and not as smart as Kevin Garnett.
Rondo gets a good screen from Garnett. Can't get the shot off, though. Back out. Tony Allen's going to take, miss a 3, and Williams has got it. Williams the bounce pass, and Mason got to get caught in between moves and travel.
And good defense, because Mason's not going to, for a guy 6'5", 6'6", really does not shoot a lot of jump shots. He's going to go right through your chest. So if you back up off of him and contest late, that's the best thing to do against Mason.
Pierce finds some room in the baseline and lost the dribble off his foot as he was about to make his move to the basket. First Celtic turnover. Rondo up on Williams. Doc was saying earlier he wanted Rondo to get a little more aggressive on the defensive end. He wasn't all that aggressive last night, frankly, with Darren Williams. Gadzarich, an offensive board. Back out deep to Red. Tony Allen right there on the catch. Red. Rondo came to help out. They throw it out to Williams. Looked like a set shot he took right there.
It really was. A lot of guys have different shots, Mike. They don't always shoot jump shots from three-point range the same way they would shoot them inside the arc. Baron Davis, a guy the same way. Really elevates inside of the arc, but on the outside it's more like a set shot.
Tony Allen into the paint. In traffic, nicely done. TA finds Perk.
Kendrick Perkins had so much time under there. He spun the ball in his hand once, checked the wind, and just said, all right, no one's going to guard me.
Celtics 3 of their first 6. Villanueva deep. And Tony Allen will just let that go out of bounds. They'll come back Boston way with 7:44 to go in the quarter.
And this is what we talk about, Mike, when I say keep them on their heels. You turn the corner, no help. Again, no help, and TA understand late help, and then Kendrick Perkins standing wide open. It's happened already a couple times down on that baseline for the Celtics.
Tony off the bounce this time, and Michael Red not moving the feet fast enough, picks up the foul.
Also number 22, Michael Red is first personal, second team.
Bucks are not a good defensive team. The Celtics should score points here tonight. Again, they're shooting 50%, 3 of their first 6, 5 minutes into the game. Larry Krystowiak trying to establish something here. They had high hopes for this basketball team before the season started. Bogut has been playing very well tonight. The Celtics, fortunately, are going to miss him tonight. He's been playing very well of late. Rondo misses the jumper, and Villanueva's got it. Villanueva a factor on the boards here early. In the lane. Wow. That was a tough catch.
Yeah, that was a tough catch. Little bailout pass right there, Charlie Villanueva, a little out of control.
There's Andrew Bogut, street clothes, and of course E not playing too. So 2 of the future stars of this Buck team watching.
14 feet, a little more on that bench
exactly
over
right.
there in height.
Wow. Williams lost it behind the back, got lucky as it made its way to Mason. There's a couple of bad plays on both ends there.
I think Paul Pierce thought KG was going to roll, and once he didn't roll, he popped. Williams came up with the basketball, and then now you're just retreating, trying to pick up a guy, and that didn't even look like that was supposed to happen behind the back.
It was not. Mason's had some good games in the past against Paul Pierce. Tough defender. Right around 50%. Second tour with the Bucks. You know, you mentioned it off the top, Donnie. You don't want to let this team kind of hang around in this game.
Oh, you know, because they're thinking at this point in the season, the Bucks, you know what, we're just trying to get through these games. We know we only have, 17, 18 games left. Let's just get through them. But, if the Celtics want to let us hang around, and this is what we get paid to do, play basketball. We'll see if we can't get a win. And, this is, again, where their struggles have been. If you're talking about the Bucks, that right there that's what you would call defense, much like a sieve. I mean, there was really no help. The water's just opened up.
3 points in the game for Pierce. 1-1 from the field and 1-1 from the line. Ruffin's going to check in, and Gadzuri checks out. Only 1 of 7 shooting for Paul last night with 5 turnovers against the Jazz. The Jazz were jazzed last night when they came in. They made no bones about it early in the game or before the game, with Carlos Boozer saying it's a big game for us. We need to show these guys we're as good as they are, and they did. A careless turnover right there by Williams.
I mean, that's an important play right there if you're talking about what Doc Rivers has been telling Rajon Rondo. Yes, it might have been what I call a self-check. Mo Williams might have just turned that ball over himself, but Rondo was in front of him. His presence was there. Even if you apply a little bit of pressure, you can see what can happen.
Pierce gets a step pass through on the other side, gets 2. Pierce amused by that shot as I was.
He was trying to draw the contact. There was no contact there.
Rondo again extending the pressure. Villanueva trying to come out and set a screen. And good hands by Rondo there. Better pass inside to Ruffin.
And, again, what's going to make you successful against the Bucks? Getting to the basket. There you see Paul Pierce again driving, trying to get that contact and staying on balance well enough. And people don't talk about that enough with Paul Pierce. His balance. We talk about how wide he is, how strong he is, but really his balance is incredible. You can see it on the jump shots, but especially when he's driving to the basket and trying to create that contact.
Numbers for Ruffin this year, doesn't look to score. Milwaukee gets a second chance. Villanueva. Wow. Just fell down on his own. Mason. Funny looking shot. KG with the inside position. Outlet pass. And too far for Rondo to catch up to. KG really upset with himself on the other end of the court. 5:43 left to go. First quarter here in Milwaukee. Celtics not playing on that well, but they got a 10-8 lead.
This is Rajon Rondo, and you're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by
Stay twice through April 6th and earn twice the rewards. AAA members earn 3 times. Twice is nice. 3 times is nicer. Visit bestwestern.com.
We're back here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Mike Gorman along with Tony Marshall, and the Celtics have the early 10-8 lead. Lots of Celtic fans in attendance here tonight. And a chance to remind you, Modell Sporting Goods, the official sporting goods store of the Boston Celtics, is offering you the chance of a lifetime to be an honorary Celtic ball kid for a game. The experience includes an autographed Celtic basketball, assisting NBA players during warm-ups, a Celtics Modell's t-shirt, and 2 premium tickets to the game for additional guests. Now stop by Modell's and enter for your chance to win this great experience for the April 16th game. You have to be between the ages of 12 and 18 to qualify. No changes for KG and company. Ruffin the only sub in the game so far for the Bucks, a little over halfway through this first quarter. Celtics leading the league. Everybody wants to see them play. 60 sellout crowds in 64 games. Far from a sellout. If it is a sellout here tonight, a lot of people decide to stay home at the last second because it's kind of empty seats upstairs.
But the tickets are sold. That means it's a sellout.
Williams having all sorts of problems handling the ball. Red misses the jumper. Mason alone underneath. That's what Ruffin does, and go after every ball, and it gets him too, as Villanueva was in the right spot.
You know, and that's what happens to teams really that really are struggling down the stretch. Teams that don't have winning records, they have to come up with those opportunities, and it may, as ugly as it may be, your goal is to come out with 2 points.
Bucks just 3 of 11, but the score is tied at 10. KG misses deep. Perkins an offensive board. Right back up and in.
Great job, Kendrick Perkins holding off Charlie Villanueva. Again, good matchup for Kendrick because he's much stronger than Villanueva.
Red trying to get himself free of Tony Allen without much luck. Takes it into the paint. Oh, that's a tough shot. Not a whole lot TA is going to be able to do about that.
You know, right there, you just focus on sending him towards your help, and hopefully if he spins back, the help will be there for you.
Pierce goes inside to Garnett with 7 on the shot clock. Double team comes over. Rondo left open. KG by an 18-footer, and he knocks it down.
Good offense. I love that drive, draw, and kick. Because, again, bad defensive teams, Mike, are not going to make that extra effort to get out to that shooter the second time you drive and kick it.
Red getting a little physical there with Tony Allen. Kicks it to the corner. Williams misses the 3, but the rebound comes right back to him. Rondo, though, steps in, steals it, loops it ahead. Tony Allen, count it, and a foul.
Great heads-up play by Rajon Rondo, making up for the fact that he didn't box the three-point shooter out. Hustled back to get that basketball. And again, it was a long rebound, and Rajon Rondo immediately looking up the floor. Tony Allen waiting, and now he goes. Good finish.
Sam Cassell gets a nice hand from the Milwaukee Bucks as he is first off the bench tonight. That's the first time since Sam has been here that Doc has gone to him right away when he's taken Rondo out of the game.
It's interesting how things happen, you know, with injuries and through the course of the season. And when you get a new guy in, you know, it's sometimes tougher for a coach when you're winning to get a guy involved, even if it is a guy who's been around like Sam Cassell, to get him integrated into, you know, get him some minutes. You know, Ray Allen. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No Ray Allen. Now he gets an opportunity to play early.
Villanueva's eyes got real big when he saw Sam was on him. There's a look at a very dapper Ray Allen down the end of the Boston bench. There'll be a foul on Tony Allen. What do you think of that, Donnie? The fact that Kevin Garnett will go up and grab balls like that, you know, after whistles, just doesn't want the basket to go in. Is
that's his thing. I mean, that's his edge. I mean, sometimes some players will be like, that's petty, but hey, that's, you know, keeps him in the game, keeps him focused, and maybe it rubs the other team the wrong way at times.
Rubs opposing fans the wrong way, I know. Villanueva deep wild with that, but Mason slashes across and gets the rebound. James Posey's going to be coming in here in a moment for Boston. Under 3 minutes to go in the quarter. The Celtics have got a 5-point lead at 17-12. Mason, no. Boy, the Bucks are putting up some hard shots here. I don't mean hard in terms of degree of difficulty. I mean hard. Fastballs. We got 2:45 left to go here in the first quarter. We're going to get ourselves a timeout. 17-12, Boston by 5. Celtics holding the Bucks to 25% shooting so far. They've got a 5-point lead with 2:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Donnie Marshall and Laura Banky go behind the scenes of the best team in the NBA every week on Celtics Now. Fans get a look at the team off the court along with an in-depth look at the schedule as the C's get ready for the postseason. Celtics Now with Donnie Marshall and Laura Banky, Tuesdays at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet and on the new Comcast Sportsnet HD. Let's check in with our DCU sideline reporter, Greg Dickerson.
Mike, Milwaukee Bucks rookie E. Jinli missing his 6th straight game because of a sprained right wrist. It's not just the wrist that has been a problem for him. As a couple of Bucks coaches told me, Jinli really has worn down physically, that this rookie year has taken a toll on his body. But the Bucks coaches also say that they love his work ethic, and it's beyond what they thought of him coming into his first season in the NBA. You go back to his numbers in December, played 16 games, 12 points, 50% shooting before he hit that rookie wall, was really coming along. Now, despite the fact that the wrist may allow him to play, he may not dress again. I'm told the Chinese government has a lot of influence on how the Bucks are going to proceed with E. They want to make sure that he's ready to go for the Chinese national team coming in the Summer Olympics in Beijing.
Bucks management must love that, huh? Offensive board in there by Ruffin. Red nowhere to go, deflected by Cassell. Royal Ivy now at the point. Mason for 2.
And that's his game, Mike. Straight line guy. Kendrick Perkins in that situation, tough spot to be in. You got to back up and just contest that shot late.
Sam Cassell against some pressure. Ivy chasing him, and Ruffin was up there too. KG out to the 3-point line to get the pass. Alley-oop to Cannon.
How about a great back screen by Paul Pierce, and even better pass from your center, Kendrick Perkins.
Celtics by 5 again at 19-14. That's been their largest lead in this quarter as we go on to 2 minutes. Michael Redd to the basket, waiting for the whistle, and he got it at last from Sean Corbin. Perkins going to pick it up.
Just really a great pass by Kendrick Perkins. And you know that if you're a coach, you're telling Charlie Villanueva, pressure the basketball. You want to put pressure on the big guy, but it made that pass that much easier for Perk.
Leon Poe about to come in for Boston. He'll come in for Kevin Garnett. And Eddie House is going to come in for Paul Pierce. It'll be interesting now, Donnie. This, one would think, would be a lineup we'll see a lot. And by lineup, I mean Cassell and House on the floor together.
Yeah, I would think so. And you know, we'd probably see a lot of Rondo and Cassell. But I love the fact that already in this game, you know, we're still in the first quarter here. And Doc has gone 9 deep already. I love that. You know, you like the fact that you have the depth, and we talked about at the beginning of the season, a lot of criticism, and the team's not deep. There's no bench, and, you know, they've worked themselves into a nice rotation down the end of that bench.
Leon Poe comes out and sets a screen for Eddie. Pops, takes it. Wow, Leon. Show me your game, Leon.
Yeah, I like that. You know, if you see the tape of Leon Poe in college, he had about that 16, 17-foot range. You know, his work is normally obviously around the basket, but if you back up off of him, he can knock that shot down.
64% shooting for Boston. Villanueva off the catch, no. Ruffin, no. Again, good job inside, and he's able to draw a foul.
And again, you're not going to see him in a lot of situations like this, but nice little pick and pop, and shot clock was at about 3. And great balance, good shot, follow through.
P.J. Brown's going to check in here in the first quarter. A lot of people seeing action in the first quarter that usually
10 deep, Mike.
have to wait a little longer than that. Ruffin misses the first. Tonight's Celtic game brought to you by Legal Seafoods. Remember, if it isn't fresh, it isn't legal. Kendrick Perkins is going to come to the bench. Ruffin, a really good example, Donnie, of if you can do one thing really well, you can find a place in this league.
Well, that's what the NBA is all about. If you can do at least one thing, whether it's just shoot, whether it's just handle the ball, play defense, rebound, that's what the NBA is all about.
Milwaukee with 7 offensive rebounds in the game, which is why they are able to stay close despite the bad shooting percentage. Sam will spin, forgot the ball, now dumps it to the corner. Leon feeling it. Not close that time. Ivy up quickly to Red. Red Doc saying that Red carried the ball, which he probably did. But then again, who doesn't? Right. Very hard to make that call, I think, if you're an official carrying the basketball, because everybody carries it.
And if you watch Michael Redd, a lot of his game handling that basketball, he does carry the ball.
Without question. Yeah.
More than most. But again, you're right. How do you call that? You can't call that every time. It's become a part of the game. And if you start calling that, you got to start calling travels, and then, you know, calling the game like it's supposed to be called. You can't have that.
No. What kind of a game would we end up with then?
Tommy wouldn't like that.
You hit the free throw line all the time. See, I'm convinced in Tommy's day, now he's going to bristle back then maybe, I don't know. I'm convinced in Tommy's day, though, they didn't call much of anything. And I think that to the credit, which is why in the late 50s and 60s you could put up 125 field goal attempts a game. You couldn't do that today. There's too many whistles. The action stops too much.
Plus, I'm not so sure that the refs were as well protected when they left the arenas back then.
Could well be. I'm all for less whistles. Red kicks it in. Sam Cassell right there in the passing lane to Ivy. Sam the other way. Pull-up jumper. Goes.
Well, incredible again, Mike. When you bring Sam Cassell in the game, that, like I like to say, the lost art of the mid-range shot, it comes back into play. Sam Cassell, one of the best in the history of this game at that mid-range jumper.
Ivy, clock winding down. Ivy, that could have been an offensive foul. Instead, it was a block.
And that was a tough call there because, again, if it's almost like the carry call, Mike. It really is up to the ref's discretion. And here, if he hits you right in the middle, really, Leon just didn't turn, but he created the contact. Leon was going backwards already. Tough call.
Rondo's coming back in for the final 2.1. Sam Cassell will come out. Is the Sam going to come out? No, it's going to be Leon Poe coming out. Sam was ready to come out. As the voice of Doc right above us saying you got to watch the push-off. 6-point Boston lead. Ivy, who's bounced around in the lead. Latest stop here. James Posey did not get that off in time. Closer than you would have thought. And the Celtics have got a 6-point lead at the end of one. Boston able to hold Milwaukee to 28.6% shooting. The defense back here in the first quarter. And as a result, Boston's up 6 at the end of one. A lot of Celtic fans on here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. That's where we find ourselves on a Saturday night, and the Celtics with the 6-point lead at the end of one. Let's take a look at tonight's bonus code. It's brought to you by IdentityTruth.com. Early detection is your best protection against identity theft. IdentityTruth.com. A lot of green. I mean a lot of green in this building now. Again, the Bucks colors have some green in it too, but there's a lot of Celtic green here. Let's take a look at the stats. They're brought to you by AceTicket.com, Boston's best seats. If you want the best seats in Boston for all sports, concert, and theater events, call AceTicket.com at 1-800-MY-SEATS. Eddie House gets it back, trying to bank it home, can't. Ivy has got help on the break. Bell knocks it down. Charlie Bell's found himself a nice home here as a scorer off the bench.
Yeah, he really has. He has a great role. He's got the green light. Now that's all you want as a player coming off the bench.
Sam Cassell is 2 for 2.
I'm talking about green light. Sam Cassell, if he give it to him or not, he's going to take the green light.
He was born with a green light.
That's right.
Mason. Former Husky Jake Voskel misses off the top, taken down by Posey.
Not to kill my guy, my UConn guy, but you talk about one good thing that players do, and they're still trying to figure out what Jake does besides beat you up.
Leon Poe, nice little spin move. Good tip by PJ, doesn't stay down. And Ruffin comes away with it. Bucks continue to hang around in this game, down by 6. A little over a minute gone here, second quarter. Voskel right back to Bell. Ivy, not really a shooter, but nice little drive there. 27-23.
Well, besides the easy layups, just in that first quarter, 7 offensive rebounds is what kept the Bucks in the game, Mike.
Eddie House misses the J. Mason's going to bring it up himself. Mason looking to go coast to coast. Sam Cassell called with the foul. Wow, Desmond Mason saying, I am back off the injured list here.
Desmond Mason, this is his game. He's a high flyer, but James Posey standing a little too upright.
You just called him a couple of minutes ago. He said he's a straight line guy.
He is a straight line guy. He doesn't mess around with the basketball a lot on that perimeter.
He was a man with a purpose from the time he got the rebound at the other end. It's an interesting little motion with the free throw there, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy, again, who's very intriguing when you talk about, you know, those guys who are in that 6'4" to 6'6" range who cannot really shoot the basketball. I mean, he's not a great jump shooter. He is a straight line guy. And again, a guy who does one thing very good, that's lock you up defensively and straight line you on the other end.
P.J. Brown back there to help out Sam Cassell as Ivy was up aggressively on defense. Charlie Bell will try to defend House. Leon Poe bounces off Oscar, misses the hook, and the loose ball, P.J.'s got it. Skips it back in, and Eddie House tracks it down. Over to Posey. James comes up shooting. And that goes over the top. It'll come back Milwaukee's way. So the Celtics now dip below 50% as they struggle a little bit here to open up this second quarter. Doc Rivers, of course, attended college here. Made his name for himself at Marquette. From Chicago, just about an hour from here, maybe a little more. Bucks turn it over. Sam again. Wow. That's two. It's a deep one.
Well, that's just what this unit needs, Mike, especially with no Ray Allen in with the group. And you know, at times Doc has played around with that lineup, leaving either Paul Pierce in or Ray Allen in. And Sam Cassell is that scorer they're going to need.
Is Jake doing this for you here? Like firing up these shots?
I guess he's been working on it, but it's not falling for him.
He's touched it twice and he's let it fly. PJ, a little turnaround for two.
And that's what you get from P.J. Brown, that 15, 16-foot range, a guy who's 6'10", 6'11". I mean, that's what this team hadn't had before P.J. got here. You know, Leon Poe and Glenn Davis do a great job, Perk, but besides KG, no bigs to knock that mid-range jumper down.
Rebound off the floor to Poe, gets it quickly to Eddie House, Cassell and Posey with him on one side. Sam. Nobody bid for the fakes. Now he goes, hides behind a screen and knocks down his fourth consecutive shot.
Well, I'm not sure if Sam Cassell thinks he has something to prove to his teammates that I should be getting more time, or to this crowd that really had a nice reception for him in his return.
6-0 run by the Celtics and their largest lead of the night. Sam is 4 for 4.
Today, your identity is at greater risk than ever before. You can't prevent thieves from poking around your identity, but you can stop them before they use it. Early detection is your best protection, and Identity Truth is the earliest. Check out IdentityTruth.com today with a truly free 90-day trial offer. Visit IdentityTruth.com today.
We're back. Celtics up 33-24, 8:29 to go in the half. Let's look at our Speedy Oil Change of the game, brought to you by Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your certified auto service center. Sam I am.
And I don't know if he eats green eggs and ham, Mike, but you talk about the mid-range game. He's 38 years old, so he's bringing that old school game back. The mid-range jump shot, 8 points in just over 7 minutes. That's what this team needs off the bench from Sam Cassell.
Big smile as he came off the court. Had something to say to the Milwaukee bench on the way by. And he will stay in action along with James Posey, Eddie House, Leon Poe, and P.J. Brown. Let's check in with Greg.
Mike, Doc Rivers telling his guys they don't want to run with you. Keep pushing that tempo. He said you guys got to put a body on the defensive end on Michael Ruffin, because all he's doing is just going up and over and climbing over your backs. And I thought it was an interesting moment. As soon as the Celtics came into the huddle, Kevin Garnett went right to Leon Poe and said, this is what you're doing. You're making your spin move and you're looking down. You're looking down. Keep your head up as you're making that move and look up towards the basket.
Nice hands there by Eddie House, slapping it away, but Williams able to get it back, leaves it for Villanueva. 5 on the shot clock, realizes it, and knocks down a jumper.
Well, Villanueva's he's bound to make one of those. He's 2 for 8. And that's after making that shot. The other one almost hit the Jerry West line. And
Sam has that shot partially blocked. Loose ball off the floor. Bell's got it. Villanueva, wow, doesn't hesitate. Jacks up a three.
Misses aren't close, that's for sure. There's no doubt they're missing.
A little quick. Bosco jumps out on Sam. Back to PJ. Stretches it out. No. Leon can't get the rebound. That was slapped away by Mason, but PJ Brown able to get it to Eddie House, and he knocks down the 15-footer.
You know, you watch this unit, Mike, you just feel that calmness. You know, you have a guy in Sam Cassell, a guy in P.J. Brown, both 38 years old, who you really, they understand the game, you know, so it really gives Doc that presence of mind that, okay, you don't have to be in a hurry, you don't have to worry about anything.
It is the Jake Vosco show here. And a 3-second violation is going against Jake Vosco.
Well, the last, what, 5-6 games, Mike, we've had a UConn guy, I think, with the exception of Utah.
Exactly.
So then we figured, hey, we'll put 2 in tonight against,
yeah, that's right.
You know, on the Bucks team. So it makes up for it. So 7 guys in the last 7 games from UConn. And maybe Jake and Charlie watched how well Ben and Gordon and Rudy Gay and all the other guys did. They're trying to prove a point here.
One-handed rebound by Villanueva. Has pulled Poe off with the other. Villanueva in the lane. 2. The Bucks are 10 of 30 now. 33% shooting. Celtics are 15 of 30, 50%. Kevin Garnett's coming back in here about halfway through the second quarter next whistle. Posey took a little hike there. Loose ball. EJ. Just forcing the issue, and is going to get himself to the free throw line. And we'll take a timeout. 5 minutes, 59 seconds left to go first half. And the Celtics have got the lead. We're back, 7-point game, 35-28. About halfway through the second quarter. Hey, you want to get away? One grand prize winner will travel to Chicago, courtesy of Southwest Airlines, to see the Celtics take on the Bulls on April 1st. Grand prize includes 2 tickets on Southwest Airlines, hotel accommodations, 2 tickets to the game, and more. For your choice to win, log on to Celtics.com. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Boston Celtics. Visit Southwest.com for all of your travel plans. Let's check in with our DCU sideline reporter. He is seated behind the basket, Greg Dickerson.
Mike, here in Milwaukee, they had their own big 3 back in the late 1990s and into the 2000s. A younger Ray Allen part of it, along with Sam Cassell and Glenn Robinson. They ended up going to the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals. And Ray was saying before the game, if not for an injury to Scott Williams, their big power forward, they may have gone to the NBA Finals that year. Those two played together for parts of 4 seasons. You see the numbers, 264 regular season games, a record of 150 and 114. Now, unfortunately for Ray Allen, things did not end, and Donnie, I'm sure you know about this, as well as he would have liked here in Milwaukee. He talked about that before the game. We'll have more on his thoughts on how things finished up here in Milwaukee and his relationship with then coach George Karl.
We look forward to that, Greg. P.J. Brown for the second and 2. Celtics have Garnett, House, Cassell, Brown, and Posey on the floor. Gadzarich has come back in. Villanueva stays out there. Red is back. Bell and Williams. Bell kicks it back out. Red gets a good look. You won't miss that too often. Gadzarich an offensive rebound. And then P.J. Brown rips it away, but a foul is called. Nice aggressive move by P.J.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, Mike, 8 offensive rebounds will make this 9 for the Bucks. Again, that's what happens at times when you take teams that aren't playing that well and have bad records. You take them for granted. They're still going to come out and play hard. You got to do the job if you're the Celtics and keep them off the offensive glass.
Eddie House out, Paul Pierce in. Here the offensive rebound numbers 9-7. Rebounds overall are even at 18 apiece, although the Bucks have been out rebounding foes of late. Red kicks it to the corner. Ball comes right back to Red. Misses again. Comes back to him again. And we have got a jump ball as Sam Cassell ties up Red. Doc thinking that whistle was a little quick, as did you, Johnny.
Well, I always wonder, what's the timing on a jump ball? Like, he took it away from him. You're starting your break. Here you go. What's the timing? Okay, I'll take that. Let's go. I don't understand how that is. How's that a jump ball?
Sean Corbin now trying to get them straight around the circle. Sam gets the tip. Nice little turnaround by Kevin Garnett, and the Celtics have their largest lead of the game in the first, double-digit lead of the game at 10 with 5 and change to go in the first.
I'd like to see that KG back in the game and being aggressive, looking for a shot.
Williams into the lane, and Paul Pierce is going to be whistled for that foul. Celtics on an 11-3 run here over the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Tell you what, Mike, there's about 5 or 6 charges out there if the Celtics will stand their ground and really start to take them, because this entire Bucks team, maybe with the exception of a couple of big guys, Gazarich and Ruffin, when he was in, they put their heads down and they try to get right to the basket.
Sam Cassell, his best stint as a Celtic, 11 minutes. And he was 4 for 5, 8 points and an assist. Villanueva kicks it deep. Bell, that's a deep shot, trying to beat the buzzer. And it'll count as a turnover, the 6th for Larry Krystowiak's club. Coach K, as they call him. I was getting confused when I was reading that in the paper. They were talking about Coach K being impressed with this.
People don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it as with a V or with a W, so they just call him Coach K.
Right, yeah. I figured the new coach had patented that Coach K thing. I didn't think anybody else could play by Rondo. Kevin Garnett, he's going to get himself to the line.
Great job by James Posey and KG. Look at that, pushing the defender up the lane. Help coming, but a little too late. He was really yelling for that basketball, yep. Mike. He wanted that down the post, but great job. You know, we kind of lose sight of really how fundamentally sound Kevin Garnett is. And, you know, most players would just stand there on the block and post up. KG worked his guy up with coach's teacher. Work your guy up the lane and get you more space behind you for your offensive teammate to throw that ball over the top.
Gazarich is coming out and Ruffin is coming back in. Celtics 6 of 8 at the line. KG 0 for 1. Numbers below average for Kevin last night against Utah. A bumpy road of late at the free throw line. Bell, that was a tough layup. Squeezed that by P.J. Brown. Kendrick Perkins will be coming back in here in a moment. Perk played the opening 11 minutes of the game. Inside, PJ, no, everything but the basket. Williams looking for a screen, couldn't get one. Celtics surround, Villanueva and take the ball away from him. Bounce pass ahead to Posey. James corner. Pierce wanted to catch and shoot, but couldn't make the clean catch. Now back and Bell down. Good look from Rondo.
Passing is contagious. Guys are so unselfish. Think about that. Paul Pierce caught that ball in the corner. Most years, Mike, you know, Paul Pierce didn't have the help. He would have probably taken a bad shot from the corner.
That was a very slick pass. South's out running again. Posey gets it over to Rondo. Rondo in the paint. KG. And a foul on Ruffin.
They're going to give him probably free throws and the ball on the side. And that was after the play, really unnecessary. And they're talking about it right now, but great job by Rajon Rondo. Had Pierce in the corner, and you know what? As much as you like Pierce shooting jumpers, you take the big guy under your 7-footer under the basket to finish that.
It's a flagrant one foul called on Ruffin. Here's another look.
Yeah, probably it really didn't need. I'm sure he didn't need anything by it, but he got there a little bit too late.
Now, Kevin Garnett gets 2 opportunities here to make one, like the old days in the NBA. And then it'll be Boston's ball side out.
The only unfortunate thing about that is it works against your percentages from the free throw line.
Yeah. He's got the hat trick right now, 0 for 3.
Would almost rather just have one.
He's told somebody to shut up. I'm not sure who. Perkins back into the Celtic lineup. And Boston gets it back, leading by 13 here. And held the Bucks to 30% shooting in this first half and 30 points with 3:05 to play. Pierce wants to take advantage of Bell. And does. Just too strong for Bell, way too strong.
Yeah, good left up and under the basket. Pierce, I mean, I don't know what he's worked on, but that left hand in my mind has been the thing he's worked on hardest in the offseason. A lot of finishes this year around the basket with that left.
And that foul is whistled on Kendrick Perkins. A little incredulous. 2:41 left to go in the half. Celtics have their largest lead. It is 15. We're back with 2:41 left to go in the half, and the Celtics are on top by 15 at 45-30. March Madness is here, and Comcast Sportsnet and Southwest Airlines once again bring you Tourney Time. Register for free as a Sportsnet on ComcastSportsnet.com and fill out your brackets beginning on Monday. Now the winner at the end of the NCAA tournament will receive 2 tickets anywhere Southwest flies. Southwest Airlines Tourney Time only on ComcastSportsnet.com. Let's take a look at the Wendy's. It's way better than fast food replay.
Yeah, great job. Paul Pierce catches it, saying, you know what, I got teammates that are open. I'm going to take my time. Great wraparound pass behind the back, and Rondo gets it up quick before Ruffin can get there to block it. And, you know, Paul Pierce thinking, I got him, but I got a teammate that's open. Unselfishness.
The Bucks got to within 3 at 27-24, but since then the Celtics have been on an 18-6 run to open up this 15-point lead. Numbers for Paul tonight. He's out there with Rondo, Posey, Perkins, and Garnett. Williams has come back into the game for the Bucks. He's there with Red, Ruffin, Villanueva, and Bell. Oh, good defense by Posey. A foul's called.
Boston foul, number 41.
That's pretty good defense, isn't it?
It really is. Moving his feet, not reaching in.
And we get Michael Red to the free throw line. Celtics holding Red relatively in check tonight. Brian mentioned off the top, he leads the Buck in every offensive category you can think of. 23.5 points a game. Plays 38 minutes a game, so he's pretty durable. Shoots about 45% from the field.
Guy's been here 8 years, and he's in the top 10 in points, scoring average, field goals made, free throws made, and you can just keep going when you talk about three-pointers also. And early in his career, he had to wait to play behind Ray Allen.
Pierce. The second behind the back pass did not work out as well as the first one did. That's the 4th Boston turnover, though. Decent number here with 2:20 to go in the half.
It's like the golf swing, Mike. getting ready for our Texas trip. Whenever that club gets behind you, it's not good. You got to keep it in front of your body. Same with the basketball. Whenever that thing gets behind you, it might work sometimes, but you want to keep the passes in front of you.
Tell me that tomorrow now. Remind me of that tomorrow. I'm your partner here. Red gets to the hoop for 2. Under 2 in the half. Well, you can see, though, Donnie, with a team that comes in with the record that the Bucks do, which is 23 and 42, they do come out with a little bit of passion at the beginning of the game, but as they get down in the game, lanes to the hoop just seem to open up. You know?
Yeah, they really do. And you know, it's interesting because early in the game, that's how the Celtics started. They really understood, and great job, kudos to Doc Rivers and the staff. Get to the basket. You had that from the start. And once you start making shots, now the open shots come from the outside. Just tears the team down like the Bucks.
Charlie Bell knocks down a shot, but the deep jump shots are about all the Bucks are able to get in this game. 34% shooting, 13 of 38. And again, Pierce wants to pick on Bell on the defensive end. And the foul will be on Bell. Not much you can do in that matchup.
There really isn't. And here, Rajon Rondo, again, you talked about it, Mike. The defense just breaks down, and they've had that all game. And you continue to get to the basket. It's amazing how the help comes, and now you have open jump shots from the outside.
4 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists for Rondo in the game. And we're under a minute now to go in the half. Perk inside. He is strong, and he is overpowering people of late down there.
Well, that's where you see where the Bucks' deficiency is. You know, Charlie Villanueva, not the strongest guy. I mean, he's more like he's a power forward, but he's more like a 3-man more than he is a power forward. And he can't guard a guy like Kendrick Perkins down there.
2-1 advantage for Boston in the paint. Bell in trouble. Turns it over. Rondo. Williams has got an angle on him. Rondo goes by him and spins it home.
The English this kid puts on the basketball, Mike, is incredible.
Well, all you have to do is shake hands with him and you know how he does it.
Yeah.
He's got a huge mitts.
Long arms and big hands.
Yeah, it's a nice combination. Yeah. Held me back. Okay. Bucks looking for the last shot. I sometimes wonder, Donnie, why teams that are down 16 look for the last shot instead of just like running your offense and see what happens. I mean, what's the point? 2.4 still on the clock. McDonald's halftime report with Gary and Tommy standing by. They'll have a breakdown of tonight's first half, and Tommy will give you his thoughts as to whether or not they did blow the whistle back in the old days or whether they didn't. And Doc is going to use this opportunity. Again, Doc, as we've mentioned many, many times over the course of the year, is always teaching. Up, down, doesn't matter where you are in the game. He is going to take advantage of opportunities, and he's got one right here. Tonight's Kia card is presented by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Michael Vett, how good a shooter is he? Holds the NBA record for three-point field goals made in a quarter, 8 of them. Made the 2004 Eastern Conference All-Star team and holds the Bucks single-game scoring record with a 57-point night. And there's been a lot of terrific players who have played for the Bucks. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes to mind immediately. One might have thought he had a 57-point night at some point in his career. All right, let's see what Doc drew up. It is going to be Posey on one side and interesting Rondo down lower right-hand corner of your screen. You see where James Posey's taking it off. Unless Rondo's just going to take off from there. Jason Phillips trying to get James Posey in the space that he wants him in.
He needs the starting blocks. Rondo doesn't have the starting blocks down.
Posey. And they got a foul on Ruffin. James threw a high, hard one there. That was. Watch this pass. That's just a dumb play by Ruffin, but great pass. That was a bullet, wasn't it? Arm. Yeah, I was just going to say. It didn't go up, it didn't go down. It just stayed at about 8 feet off the ground. I once saw certain plays stick in your head. Larry Johnson, remember Larry Johnson? Yeah. I once saw Larry Johnson step out of bounds after a basket, turn around and throw a pass to somebody who was basket hanging at the other end, the length of the court, and I swear the ball was like 6 feet high the entire way. It's just from the time it left his hand, and the guy who caught it was stinging his hand.
It was Larry Johnson, not Grandmama.
That was like,
I'm not sure
it was
she has the arm that Larry has.
It was a fastball, right?
Great athletes in this league.
And the Celtics dominate this first half against the Milwaukee Bucks. 18 is the Boston lead at the end of one. Good defense, really the key for Doc Rivers' club here tonight. They hold Milwaukee to 32% shooting, while they shoot 48% themselves in the second quarter. Goes by him and spins it home. Tonight's AAA first half replay brought to you by AAA, your license to save. Go to AAA.com to join. Mike Gorman, Donnie Marshall here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, where the Celtics have an 18-point first half lead, 53-35. I was looking at the stats here, Donnie. Interestingly, without Ray Allen, the Celtics only attempted three-point field goals.
Yeah, and they didn't need them. Obviously, they're doing the work in the paint. KG playing very well, but defensively, the team has been stifling. 32% for the Bucks, and they're getting in the paint. They have 12 offensive rebounds, the Bucks, with 14 points in the paint, so that tells you what that story is. But I think it's more of the same in the second half. Great way to start your trip. We talked about that in the open. Going out west, it's going to be tough. Great to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, we're still going to have to go, though. Still going to have to go. DCU sideline reporter Greg Dickerson has the rundown on what the coaches had to say.
Yeah, coaches specifically love the effort and the points and rebounds that P.J. Brown and Sam Cassell gave them off the bench. A real shot in the arm for them. One thing that the coaches said to me is, while they're still on a learning curve with their own team in the offense and they haven't been force-fed everything, they are so smart and they like how they come out and know the tendencies of the other teams and other players, and that really added to what they were able to do in the first half against this Bucks team.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by aceticket.com. Call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Rondo, a little stop and go move, trying to lay it down, nobody home, and Williams comes away with it. Williams, nice move with the dribble, and then missed the shot. And the loose ball off the floor to Pierce. Pierce is out there with Tony Allen, Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, and Kevin Garnett. KG just now making his way into your picture. Kicks it out to Pierce. Pierce with 7 on the shot clock. Makes it 0 for 4. The Celtics now from three-point line. Garnett in double figures with 13. Red kind of lackadaisical at 10. That's the reach.
Michael Redd not playing with that same sense of urgency. You can see on his face a lot that, hey, we're getting down here into the season. I just don't want to get hurt.
Knocks down a 3. It's kind of like if I can catch and shoot it, okay. But
that's it. Yeah. That's right. I mean, and that's the easy way out. And that's what a lot of guys who play a ton of minutes. That's what happens when you're on a bad team down the stretch and you're kind of just, you know, counting the days.
Michael Redd picks up the foul. Here's his last hoop again. It's just really on a catch and shoot.
Yeah, and this is, you know, basically, you don't want to get hurt. I mean, he's going to shoot. He's a shooter, but not coming off the screens the same way we know Michael Redd to come off. Really defensively, not giving you any effort. I mean, that's the product of being on a bad team and not going anywhere. So.
Loose ball foul. Kendrick Perkins. It's the third on Perk. First team foul on the Celtics here in the half. And Boston comfortably in front in this game by 15. 27-24 was as close as the Bucks got there in the first half, and the Celtics kind of pulled away with an 18-6 run. And they've been maintaining a double-digit lead since. Gad's reach hard to the basket. No. Pierce gets it to Rondo. Garnett's running the floor, trying to get position on Villanova. Pierce, yes, and around.
Basketball ball Pierce. Fox foul on number 50 and down 3.
Paul Pierce, great recognition. Gad's reach moving. That's an easy call for the officials. You know, Tommy Heinsohn hates to hear this, but the big guys never get the benefit of the doubt in that situation.
Gives you an idea, too, of the strength of Pierce. I mean, that bump did not put him on course at all. Just kept right on going.
His strength and his balance.
Yeah. There's Garnett again wreaking havoc like he does. Makes you work. That is kind of sums up Kevin Garnett in terms of what he does to other teams. He makes you work. There are no free passes.
And his teammates will tell you the same as being his teammate. There's no free passes. He makes you work.
Doc really upset. Tony Allen took the worst of that.
It was in the face, Jason.
22's out here first
Well,
before the contact.
This was, for lack of a better term, an awful, awful call. If
Yeah.
you can foul someone with your face,
Yeah,
and
right,
that was
exactly.
that was a good call, but it really wasn't. Tony Allen, no hands. Michael Redd, clearly that's an offensive foul. Doc has every right to be upset with that call.
Tell you who's upset right now is Tony Allen.
Yeah.
Tony is not happy. Got that scowl that he sometimes has. Traveling violations going to send it back Boston's way. Tony still with a hand up to the mouth where he took a shot. Face foul. That could be a new term.
Yeah.
That's a new term.
Officially seen it all.
Pierce looking for the first three of the game. Can't find it. Celtics 0 for 5 now from beyond the arc. Taking 2 of the first 3 minutes here of the second half after taking just 3 in the entire first half. Boston off the turnover numbers on the break. Over to Rondo, back to Garnett for 2. Nicely done by Allen and Rondo.
Keep pursuing the ball. Exactly what KG was doing there. He knows from playing with his teammates this season that they were going to reward him if he runs.
15 in the game now for KG. 20 the Boston lead. Gadzarich. Big follow by Villanueva.
Well, offensive rebounds is really the only thing keeping this game for the Bucks within 18 to 20 points. 13 offensive rebound of the night.
KG pops out. Kind of ripped that away from Williams. Williams deep. Inside, Kevin Garnett again getting position running the floor on Gadzarich. Tries to come up the other way. Couldn't get the roll, and Villanueva comes away with it. And I tell you, there's not a lot of passes on the Milwaukee end of the floor. It's first available shot is going up there. Nice move by Pierce.
And the Celtics getting anything they want offensively.
Yes, without question. Look at Williams. This is offensively, they play like 5 guys who met on the bus.
Yeah, they really do.
Rondo sends it back out. Tony Allen. Pierce wanted to go around. There's nobody there. Looking to work it around the 3-point line, and Garnett had to come out to get it. Back to Pierce. Along the baseline. Out to KG.
Like you say, they offensively they play like 5 guys who just been on the bus. They defensively have been playing like 5 guys who haven't gotten off the bus tonight.
Yeah. Just get the ball and head for the hoop. Celtics with some nice ball movement here.
Really unselfishness, Mike, and Tony Allen keeping that ball just long enough to give it to Rondo for him to tap it back to KG running the floor. Reward your big fella. And KG knows Rondo's going to find him, or he better find him at least.
Celtics 15 assists on 25 baskets here. Boston dominating this game inside 36 to 18 in terms of points in the paint and 14 to 4 in terms of fast break points. Just watching Rondo on that particular play. You could have called him for palming 3 different times. Nice move by Jean on the baseline. It's just what the game has become. I mean, nobody has their hand on top of the ball with the dribble anymore. It's always on the side.
They hesitate and the ball's underneath. And great finish here. Again, the Bucks, no help defense. Guys standing around. Your big guys are supposed to be there helping you. Nowhere to be found.
Big night against Milwaukee back in December. Solid night here tonight. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Celtics up to a 21-point lead. That matches their largest of the night. Mainly a travel off the catch by Mason. Red. Wow.
Great defense there by Tony Allen.
See why there are a lot of empty seats here. Rondo again. Perk with the follow. Kicks it to KG. Short with the jumper. Rebound gets reach. Fortunately, the officials, with the exception of a couple of face fouls, are keeping their whistles in their pockets. Mason, and that's going to be a goaltend on Kevin Garnett. And so we have a rapidly moving third quarter here, and we're going to get ourselves a timeout, I believe.
Great defense right here by Tony Allen, pushing him towards Kendrick Perkins for the help and getting a hand up to contest that shot.
But both sides thought there was going to be a timeout. The entire Buck bench was out on the floor, including all the coaches standing around. Most of the Celtics had gone to the bench, and then the officials said play on. So they take the timeout on the goaltender. Pierce has it knocked away. It's going to stave off the ball, but now we'll get the timeout that we were looking for. 5:22 left to go. We're in the third. All Boston, 63-44. We're back with 5:22 left to go here in the third, and the Celtics comfortably in front, 63-44. Luxury suites are now available, fans. It's your chance to reserve a luxury suite for a Celtic home game this year. Whether you're entertaining clients or employees, or even just looking for a fun night out with your family or friends, private suites are the perfect place for your group. You get great views of the court, wait staff service, catering options, and a whole lot more. To reserve a suite for a game this season, please call the Celtics at 866-GO-CELTICS. Time now for Gatorades, heard round the cooler. And with part 2 of the earliest story, here's Greg Dickerson.
I know you've been waiting for this,
I
Mike.
have. Hanging.
Ray Allen loved his time here in Milwaukee, his 6+ seasons, but never seemed to have a great relationship with then-coach George Karl. It ultimately led him to being traded to the Seattle Supersonics. He talked about the trade tonight. He said, the trade was unfortunate. That was George Karl on the battle between he and I. I had no animosity. I was happy with what was going on. For some reason, he was unhappy with everything I did at that moment, and there was no reason to. Ray added, I could go out and do my job, and he could find fault with everything I did. The way I dressed, the things I did off the court, he would question my toughness. It seemed like he wanted somebody else on his team that he just didn't have.
Don't know what to say.
Well, you know George Karl with the players he has, Carmelo Anthony, Allen Iverson, Kenyon Martin. Those are the guys that he gets to the best, the guys who play with a chip on the shoulder. Ray Allen was never really that guy.
No, I was just going to say, you just named 3 guys that are as un-Ray-like as you could come up with. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I'll take the Ray-likes myself. Right. And right on cue, another Connecticut guy steps to the free throw line. Here are the numbers last 5 games for Charlie Villanueva as he's making an end-of-season push here.
You know, the only thing that scares me about a guy like Charlie Villanueva early in his career still is, you know, games like tonight, he's 4 for 14, and really he has no shot selection. He's taking bad shots, you know, and again, that is what resonates in a team when you're not winning. And that's not a good thing, because you know what? Come next year, you get some guys who can play. Maybe you start winning some games. It's hard to teach a player to try to play the right way after he's been playing the wrong way for so long.
This goes to Perkins. Perkins size advantage and takes advantage. Perkins, a very efficient 4 for 4 from the field with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Royal Ivy back in running the show for the Bucks. Nice tip by Mason.
He's a hot fire, but then again, I hate to be tough on my, former alum brethren, but a bad shot. I mean, just a bad shot. You got 2 guys in your face. Obviously, someone's open. Luckily for Villanueva, Desmond Mason was there for the tip.
Villanueva's taken 15 shots in this game. Reach comes in and picks the pocket of Kendrick Perkins. Up the sidelines to Red. The Celtics come at him with a double team. Oh, I know. The palming that's going on. Man. Burke with the rebound. Outlet pass to Rondo. Tony Allen running the floor. Rondo knew exactly where he was. Rondo, 2.
I like that off the dribble. We know Rajon Rondo down the stretch and into the playoffs especially, he's going to be left open. But if he can create his own shot off the dribble, man, he's going to be really a tough matchup for teams who are going to sag off of him in the playoffs.
Rondo 5 of 8 tonight. Cassell 4 of 5 off the bench. That's 9 for 13 shooting from your point guard. Win a lot of games with that. Yeah. Ivy. Up to Rondo. Allen and Garnett running the floor. And we got a kick ball. And first we're going to get a timeout. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the third. The Bucks are not making any headway here. We're back in the 19-point game. Celtics are on top, 2:50 to go here in the third. Hey, you could win a trip to the NBA Finals. Just look inside specially marked packs of Wrigley's Double Mint Gum. Double Mint is the official gum of the NBA, and if you go to WrigleyHoops.com for details, there's a free entry for you right there. It's void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends on April 30th, 2008. You have to be 18 or older and a legal resident of the 50 U.S. states or Washington, D.C. to play. Odds of winning depend upon how many other people decide they want to play. Let's take a look at the Wendy's. It's way better than fast food replay.
Yeah, and this is a part of Rajon Rondo's game. You know he's worked so hard on over the summer. The jump shot, but the change of direction, the crossover to get to it, it's pretty special.
Returning from the box, number 50, Michael Rosen. And number 21, Bobby Simmons.
Stays Boston ball, 14 on the shot clock, 2:46 in the third. Ivy defending KG. Now Rondo goes back to Kevin Garnett. Bobby Simmons getting his first minutes, and Garnett buries a jump shot over the top of him.
And most times you would say, you know what, you don't want your 7-footer taking an 11-footer and turning that into a 15-footer by falling away. But KG, man, he has mastered that shot, Mike.
Yeah, he really does. And it goes off Ruffin's hands out of bounds. It'll be Boston ball. James Posey coming back in. Paul Pierce thought he was going out, but he's not. Perk will sit down. 24 minutes for Perk tonight. 8.6 rebounds, 3 assists.
Might be a little premature, but I think we start to see, team continues playing well. I think it's obvious we start to see them getting a little bit of rest, getting ready for a long trip.
Kevin Garnett trying to build up that lead and really wanted a 3-point play out of that. Said he got hit on the arm. He's upset, as you can see. Under 2 minutes to go now. They jump on Red as soon as he catches it. Ivy finds Ruffin. Lost it under the block. They lose it. Garnett get it? Yeah. Ruffin again stripped by Allen. doesn't want any part of it, just gives it up. And Simmons knocks down a baseline jumper. Ruffin's like, you're not going to do that to me twice.
I'm passing this thing.
That's right. Second chance points keep Milwaukee in the semi-respectable stage here, if you can be semi-respectable down 23. 13 for Rondo. Garnett's the high scorer with 19. Pierce has got 13. We got a double technical on Kevin Garnett and Bobby Simmons.
This is about the time of the game where you get KG out, let him get some rest.
I love it. I just love how intense he is all the time.
Not a lot of guys you see walk over to their coach and give them a fist to say good game. You know, it's always the coach coming to the player. That's how intense KG is. But this is good. He's fired up. This would be nice rest for him. Team doesn't play again until Monday.
We'll be in San Antonio for that one. Tony Allen picks up that foul. Here's tonight's legal seafood trivia question. Who beat the Bucks in the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals that Sam Cassell and Ray Allen played for the Bucks? Which team beat them in that series? We'll have that coming up for you in the fourth quarter.
I'll have to take myself out of the participating and answering that. I was actually a house guest of Ray Allen, if you will, during that Eastern Conference Finals.
Nice. You know Ray?
A little bit.
Johnny, throws a fucking punch at him. Have some balls and give one technical. Bob gets the third technical up.
Rondo. Deflected by Simmons out of bounds. Celtics with 7 on the clock. Under a minute here in the third. Celtics by 21. Their largest lead 23. But they have hung right around this kind of 19 to 23 mark for it seems like about 6 or 7 minutes here. Pierce. Rondo, as he's done many times this season, throwing it off the opposing player out of bounds.
Never giving up, Mike. There's no quit in any of these guys, and especially Rajon Rondo. And that's not something you can teach. You're not in the gym with your boy saying, "Okay, stand here. I'm going to act like this ball's going out of bounds." Try to throw it off of you where you can't catch it and keep it in.
Word from Burlington is that was worth a Tommy point right there. Sam Cassell and Eddie House are both in, along with Rondo. We probably won't see this lineup too much.
So that would make Rondo the small forward here?
Yeah. Sam lost it, but Eddie House in the right spot. Gets 2. That's a scorer who knows how to do stuff like this. Simmons comes up shooting. Cassell in a tussle with Ivy, and Ivy is called for the foul. And will walk the other way and shoot free throws. Watch this shot by Eddie House, making it up as he goes along.
And you would think that Dikembe Mutombo was in the game here with the air he put underneath that ball.
Well, we're not shooting free throws. Celtics looking for the final shot. On top by 23, trying to end this third quarter with their largest lead. Tony Allen lost it out of bounds.
If you don't think that the Bucks have just pretty much in this second half just given up 3 team fouls total.
Yep.
I mean, these guys, 4 team fouls total. That's they're not playing any team.
take a look at that one again. The officials are gathered up. No official signal has been made. So we'll take a break. We'll let you know what happens. Not going to change much. 75-52 as we head for the fourth. Welcome back to Milwaukee, everyone. The Bradley Center here, the home of the Bucks, and the Celtics starting their week-long road trip, and starting it on a good note here is up 23 going into the fourth quarter over Milwaukee. Boston shooting 50%. Here's that final basket, and the ruling by Sean Corbin, he came over to tell us that even though the ball is apparently in the basket, it is still in the hands of the player, and it can't be in the hands of the player when time runs out. So therefore, no basket.
And I apologize for using all the golf terms in our basketball game, but that's par for the course for the Bucks. Really, that's their luck.
Stats through 3 are brought to you by Ace Ticket, aceticket.com, 1-800-MY-SEATS. Boston up to 53% and Milwaukee at 31 with 11 turnovers. Sam Cassell, Eddie House, Tony Allen, James Posey, and P.J. Brown are out there for Boston. Sam with Simmons on him, shoots over him. Those two were teammates, I believe, with the Clippers. Simmons will follow in the baseline. I always thought Simmons was a pretty good player.
Yeah, solid. Not really getting an opportunity for the Bucks here of late, but got a good body, solid. You know, doesn't hurt you when he's out on the floor. He falls into that category much like myself. You know, he's that 6'6", 6'7" guy that they're a dime a dozen. There really are in this league.
I want you to know we don't consider you a dime a dozen.
Well, we're the same height sitting down, so.
Yeah. Sam leaves it for PJ. Ivy giving him a problem. Eddie House the loose ball. And it's Posey. I thought he'd get fouled, but I don't think there are going to be many fouls in this fourth quarter. Bell, the 3. Celtics still haven't made a 3-point field goal in this game. They're 0 for 6. The Bucks, because it is the lesser of two evils, have shot 20 threes in the game. They have made 4 of them. Tony Allen to the basket, boy. Just go to the basket, and amazing clouds, sky clears right up.
Combine the fact
seas part.
Yeah. Combine the fact that, you know, they're not shooting well, the Bucks, but they're playing absolutely no defense.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I can see why they're 29th in the league in field goal percentage defense. Bell. Now, I'm not trying to put you in an awkward situation here, but is that coaching? I mean, or is that just players who are not trying?
You know, it's interesting. I was just going to say, whatever Coach K is telling these guys, it has not gotten through this season. I know they had high hopes for him, but some players, and even in, you know, Greg's conversation that he had with Ray Allen, you know, Ray Allen's one of the best players to play in this league in quite some time, and George Karl, one of the better coaches. Sometimes coaches just do not connect with certain players, and it is very clear that this season Coach K has not connected with his team. You know, you can blame it on the coach, you can blame it on the player, but eventually it comes down to both parties being at fault. Can't come together.
Bell hits a couple of jump shots here. Makes it a little more respectable, 77-61 with 8:45 to go.
And this is the time where this unit for the Celtics, yes, you can get points, guys can score, but you have to play defense. It's very important. Create those good habits for your second unit.
Eddie House off the catch. There you go. That's a long 2. Bell has scored the last 7 points from Milwaukee here. He's got 13 off the bench. Story.
say he's hot right now.
10 straight points for Bell. 15-point game at 79-64. Michael Ruffin chasing Tony Allen around the backcourt. Sam Cassell with 9 on the shot clock, trying to get by Ivy. Ivy slaps it away, and Ivy and Cassell have a few words. Friendly ones, though. 79-64, 7:44 to go. 5 for Boston on the shot clock. Celtics 23-point lead is down to 15 with 7:44 to go. Hey, join Miller Lite and the Boston Celtics at J.W. Hill's Sports Bar and Grill up in Manchester, New Hampshire as the Celtics take on the Spurs this Monday night. It's a special viewing party. Celtic dancers will be there. Lucky, Dana Barrows. They'll have a best dressed fan contest and a whole lot more. It's for fans 21 and older. Festivities beginning at 7:30. That's on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. Tip-off for the game will be at 8:30. For more information on the road rally, as well as information on how you can win your chance to play basketball on the legendary Celtics parquet floor, all courtesy of Miller Lite, log on to Celtics.com. Miller Lite is an official sponsor of the Boston Celtics.
So, Mike, for that Celtics road rally there, is that best dressed like Ray Allen's dressed tonight, or is that best dressed like you're related to Lucky?
I think it's kind of more of the Ray Allen thing.
Really?
Yeah, because they used to.
Ty and
JoJo White used to be the judge of those, and JoJo, as we know, is
right. Yeah.
No slouch when it comes to sartorial splendor, right? Bell, that was halfway down. Celtics stay with House, Allen, Cassell, Posey, and Brown. Tony Allen. P.J. Brown, nice job.
That's what you call grown man strength right there, Mike.
Celtics missed 2 more threes, though. 0 for 9 now. I don't know what got into Charlie Bell not to shoot that thing. Ivy gets stripped. Tony Allen able to get it to Posey. 0 for 10 now.
So Nolan Ryan going a little over.
Yeah.
Loose ball foul, number 42, Tony Allen.
Tony Allen gets the loose ball foul.
Well, this is just you dribbling down into guys, but Sam Cassell pursuing the basketball, gets a hand in there, pokes it away. Celtics still can't convert. 81 points, none of them three-pointers.
The answer, though, is trotting by us right here, right now. Brian Scalabrine will be coming into the game. Simmons tries a three. Story, physical, kid, pushes off, gets a rebound. PJ, good position.
Isn't that awesome, Mike, just to see him keep that ball alive, using his body, tapping it to himself. Shows you don't have to be able to out-jump guys. You just have to be able to have that positioning.
He's been doing that for a long time. Sam trying to rub off his man. Back to PJ. PJ trying to take it to the basket. Gets fouled. And we're going to get ourselves another timeout. Brian Scalabrine coming into the game when we get back. Halfway through the fourth quarter. Celtics lead it by 17.
Today, your identity is at greater risk than ever before, and it's much more than just your credit information. Early detection is your best protection, and Identity Truth is the earliest. Check out identitytruth.com today with a truly free 90-day trial offer. No credit card required. Just visit identitytruth.com today.
We're back a little more than halfway through the fourth quarter. Celtics by 17, 81-64. The answer to tonight's Legal Seafood Trivia question: who beat the Bucks in the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals? The team that Ray Allen and Sam Cassell played for. It was the Philadelphia 76ers, winning that series 4-3, and that was a big part of the reason that the other night down in Philly, every time Sam Cassell touched the ball, he was booed. Remember, if it isn't fresh, it isn't legal. Let's check in with Greg.
Mike, Scott Pollard returned to Boston last night after having surgery on his left ankle on Tuesday in Indianapolis. Talked to him last night. Said surgery went very well. Got everything fixed on that left ankle of his that he re-injured out on the West Coast. He's going to be on crutches for about another week or so, then in a boot for about 4 or 5 weeks, and is looking forward to getting back around the team and joining them on a road trip coming up in a couple of weeks.
It's good to hear. Scott will be missed. Scott's always missed for both on and off the court. Colorful character.
Back to the team. Back to Celtics Now. The team over at Celtics Now.
That's right. I love that piece he did as a doorman at the
Yeah.
I love that.
He had to leave that job. He said Doc needed him to foul someone, so he had to go. Stripped down, running down the streets of Boston in his uniform.
I love the line at the beginning of that piece when he said that said you probably don't know that a lot of NBA players have second jobs, and then he smiled and he said we don't handle our money all that well. Bucks are just kind of lining up around the three-point line to see who's going to take a shot. It'll be Bell. He misses it. Rebound off the floor to Scal.
Scal, I had to tell him he's doing his best Michael Rappaport as Remy in the movie Higher Learning. I don't know if you remember that movie. He's got the shaved head. They call him Remy.
PJ baseline. Nope. With that line drive jump shot.
And he's more of a catch that ball with his feet set and shoot it. Not really a quick off the pass catch and shoot guy.
Sessions just up from the NBDL. Goes in for 2. Posey did well just to track that down. Sam's got it with 4 on the shot clock. PJ, I don't think he got that off in time. He did not.
He's getting a lot of looks. Shot clock running down. Guys are trying to find him.
Tonight's Celtic game brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the NBA and your Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
I think that I just remember hearing Rolly Massimino referring to an offense as chuck and duck. That kind of sums up the Bucks to me a little bit.
That's his first personal 13.
His Scal rumbling to the poop.
Remy tried to change hands, couldn't get it to go. And that's tough as a player. You know, it's here. It's almost 10 o'clock. You've been sitting on the bench over there for about just under 2 hours. You got to get in and give 110%. It's tough.
Tonight's Celtic game brought to you by Legal Seafoods. Remember, if it isn't fresh, it isn't legal. Scal's in the book. He's got a point and a rebound. 83-66. Could go under 4 minutes on this possession. Scal's got 2 rebounds. Posey on the down and out.
And every player for the Celtics has played except the rookie, Glenn Davis. It's the life of a rookie at times.
Sessions in the paint, kicks it out. Simmons knocks it down. 85-70, 15-point Boston lead, or 85-68, excuse me. 17 the Bulls. James looking for that 3, and the Celtics aren't finding it.
Believe it or not, Mike, that was James Posey's first basket of the game, that dunk. I mean, he's been involved a lot out here tonight.
Story comes up shooting and knocks it down. Story somewhere is related to Greg Minor. Do you remember Greg Minor?
Yeah, doesn't he?
It's unbelievable how they play. We've got a timeout. 2 minutes, 49 seconds on the clock. Greg Minor right there. I swear it is, making a comeback.
Boston Celtics basketball on Comcast Sportsnet was brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, by your New England Ford dealers, by TD Bank North, by Supercuts, by Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, and by Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the scene here as the Celtics have a 15-point lead, 85-70 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's another Wendy's. It's way better than fast food replay.
Nice little post route run here by James Posey, Brian Scalabrine, and it's amazing. Posey's been involved in so much tonight. First points of the game there, but what a way to get him with the dunk.
Let's take a look at tonight's official league leaders. They're brought to you by TD Bank North, the official bank of the Boston Celtics. Boston with the best record in the league in back-to-back games, 12-2, and it looks like that's going to be extended here tonight. San Antonio's record slips tonight as they lose again on the road. They have really struggled lately on the road. We'll see San Antonio coming up on Monday night as the Celtics begin that dreaded Texas swing as they win by Philly tonight. 5th straight road loss for the San Antonio Spurs. So they will not be in a good mood when the Celtics see them on Monday night. That's going to be a foul by James Posey with 2:31 to go in this game. Boston up 18.
Also, Mike, this game ties the Celtics with the Orlando Magic for most road wins in 23.
Greg is going to go to the Alamo on Monday, and he's going to give us a full report as to what that is all about. It's a great take if you haven't been to San Antonio. You got to go to the Alamo, and you got to go see Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and the rest of those guys play. Kevin Garnett getting a chance to watch here, and again, the Celtics won't practice tomorrow because they don't practice after back-to-backs. So it'll be a shoot-around on Monday, and then the Spurs on Monday night, and then another back-to-back as they take on Houston on Tuesday night. Houston will be with you for pregame and postgame activities. Scala's called for a travel. I don't know whether it was so much a travel. I just think there was so much upper body motion there that the officials
and a lot of times officials will call it if it doesn't look right.
Yeah, they were just like, we can't let that go. Sam Cassell suddenly whistles galore here with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Fortunately not over the limit, so Story will inbound. Sessions bumped off the play by James Posey. That is the 3rd personal and 14 foul. Sessions in the act of shooting. Sessions, a rookie out of Nevada. A lot of time in the NBDL. Celtics getting on a plane, headed to San Antonio right after the game tonight. And of course, on Tuesday night, we'll be in Houston to play the Rockets. And they take on the Lakers tomorrow, but it looks like they're going to take on the Lakers without Pau Gasol. So the second longest win streak in NBA history could well be still alive when the Celtics see them on Tuesday night. Gasol not expected to play in that game tomorrow, although anytime Kobe Bryant's in a game, his team's got a shot.
It's amazing too, Mike. The Rockets have 20 losses, and they put that together already on this streak. So amazing what can spark a team to play so well for so long.
It's interesting too, and when the Rockets were in town in Boston, there. A lot of the people who traveled with them were very down on the team. Didn't think the team was very good. Were not happy with Tracy McGrady, who had gone off on his own little rehab somewhere. I think he'd gone back to Orlando and was rehabbing his injury by himself. And they just weren't pleased with the outfit. And Rick Adelman's done just a terrific job of getting those guys together. And you look at the roster, you say, how are these guys winning 20 games? Really, because after McGrady and no Yao Ming, it's Rafer Alston,
Guys playing at their maximum potential.
Exactly.
They really are.
Shane Battier. Not that these guys, don't get me wrong, these guys are very good players, but they're not what immediately comes to mind. You think, oh, those guys can win 20 in a row.
Second longest streak in the history of the NBA. With that, you know.
Over Doc's head. Bad hands on Doc's part right there. Stick around for New England Ford Dealers post-game live. Gary and Tommy are back in the studio. We'll have Doc's press conference, player interviews, Tommy Awards, all coming up on the New England Ford Dealers post-game live.
Like as the clock ticks down, you look at the numbers for the guys tonight. KG 26 minutes per 23. You know, not a starter with more than 27 minutes. Paul Pierce was right at 27. And that's it's fantastic to be able to get your guys who play a lot of minutes to get them that much rest.
Finally, the Celtics get a three-point field goal. On the latter minutes here. Got a few of them to go down. 96-75 back to 21 with 33 seconds to go. Garnett with 19 points and just 2 rebounds in the game. Pierce had 7. Perkins had 6. Boston out-rebounded 47-41.
Doubled up on the offensive glass. But I guess you had to give Milwaukee's a chance somewhere, so I guess the Celtics said,
yeah, but that's a scary stat, though, I think, going
really
down
is.
playing
That's
against
a great
good teams.
point. It really is, because there's some things that you can fix. You can fix getting open shots, running better offense, getting down in your defensive stance. You're absolutely right. Giving up offensive rebounds, it's hard. You know, if you're so focused in not boxing out to get that back on track, especially playing with some great teams coming up on this trip.
Sam Cassell has it knocked away, but P.J. Brown comes up with it back to Eddie House. He drills one. Eddie's got 17 off the bench. 7 of 11. Boston wins this one easily. As easy a win as the Celtics have had all year. Doc Rivers making the trip up the other end of the floor. Gentleman that he is, to go congratulate the coaching staff of the Bucks. But the Celtics, a very impressive win here tonight as they roll over Milwaukee. So far, so good on the road trip. Boston 1-0. The big games coming up next week. We'll be back in a minute.